Hi, I'm Janis Bradens. I'm the person whose house was ripped apart and whose house was put together so well by the Trusted Saskatoon partners. And I want to take a few minutes to tell you something about each of them, because each of them put so much into it, and each of them I can give you a testament to the quality of the work that they do, because it was excellent in every case. The first one I was going to tell you about was Winmar Disaster Services. You know, after my bad experience with the contractor, they were the first ones that really came in, and I think they were the ones that really restored my faith in contractors again. They were doing their work and doing it just the way that they were supposed to. They showed up on time. They were professional. They were tidy. They did the work fast, and they brought insulation and drywall and all the kind of basics of getting my house back, just so that it was back the way that it was supposed to be. And so that was this great off the launch experience. Perfection Plumbing, you know, they came in, they did a ton of work in the bathroom, a ton of work in the kitchen, and made sure everything was up to speed on what it was supposed to be. But you know, they also took a view of the whole project. They kept dropping by in the middle of other things happening. They'd come by the house and say, just wondering when our turn is coming. You know, it's not like we're having to call them all the time. They just took an overall view. It's not just the little piece that was there. So I really appreciated that, because it wasn't, they obviously saw it as being part of something bigger, which is what you're supposed to do when you're a subcontractor, I think. Kitchen and Bath Classics. You know, when Lori came in and I told her what I was looking for. It's a teeny tiny little bathroom, you know, 1924 house. And I said, but it's my daughter and I. This is our main bathroom. We need lots of storage. And she came back with these options. And, you know, it's not something I would have picked, because I would have thought, well, this is way too big for this space. But it's perfect. It's as big as you can put in there, as much storage as we could handle. But at the same time, the style of it completely respects the old house. It's really good quality. And so, we're really happy with it. Beautiful sink on top of it. And she met exactly what I needed without me knowing exactly what I needed. So I was pretty tickled with that too when that came in. You know, Age of Electric, they came in and they got it all right. They started and they're running the whole upstairs. They rewired the whole kitchen after it all had to be pulled apart. They rewired the whole bathroom after it all had to be apart. I mean, it was a huge amount of work. They've been wiring this new heated roofing system that's been going in and making sure that it's all up to speed. And you know, the attention to detail. I mean, with that amount of work and doing it the way that they did, they could have tried to say, well, let's do it, you know, as basic as you could. But I remember overhearing them one day when they were in, they didn't know that I was listening, and they were installing a bathroom fan. And I could hear Arlen saying, now make sure that you add the extra brace on it, because a couple years from now, after it's been running, if there's going to be a little sag, it's going to be a 1/4 inch, and you won't be able to see it until then, but it'll happen. And so that's exactly what you want in a contractor, somebody who's actually watching out for those kinds of things that are going to go wrong eventually. Even though it looks good once they walk out the door, you want them okay. And it's that kind of attention that they were paying to it. So you know, I think that says a lot to the quality of the work that you'd be able to expect for every kind of job that they do, because they're watching when nobody's they're doing the right thing when nobody's watching. And when KTS Custom Cabinets, Kevin, I talked to him about what I was wanting in kitchen cabinets, and it's an old house again, but I was wanting something that was going to be pretty contemporary. And I thought, you know, should I go with something that's more traditional with the architecture of the house? Should I go with something that's fairly modern? And he made these beautiful gleaming white cabinets, really plain, really simple. And then when the whole thing was done, came in and added this molding at the top of it that marries it completely to the rest of the house, and that was something that was completely his doing. It wasn't mine, and it's perfect. It takes both the traditional and the contemporary and brings it together. So that man has an eye for detail and design that I really appreciate. I can't tell you how many people have come in and say, this is my dream kitchen. This is exactly what I want in a kitchen. So like a lot of them, I've been passing names along to everybody who sees the house because everybody wants to know where I got these things. When GT Flooring came in, up to that point it had been all the good for you stuff. There's insulation in the walls, there's plugs that actually work, there's drywall on the walls. But when GT came in, they put this beautiful wood floor down, they put beautiful tiles down, and suddenly you could really see what the house was going to look like. And it's like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. This is really going to be gorgeous. And their installers, they were so good through the whole thing. I look at the tile patterns that are on there and think, oh my gosh, I never could have done that. And it was similar with the wood flooring. It's really beautifully done. So Kaiser's and his team, I'm really happy with you, and I'm sure we'll be using you again once we get to doing the rest of the upstairs and someday. Adrenaline Roofing, Cameron's crew came up from Regina to Saskatoon, I think 5 times to get this on, and they put on. Their concern was, I had ice damming before, that I would never ever have to worry about this again. So they put on all the newest technology. There's skins that go over top of with new materials that go underneath all the shingles, to make sure that ice will never be able to get and water will never be able to get inside. They found this heated roofing system they've been using on the house as a demo project that I think everybody's really excited to see how this is going to work. And they put so much time into getting this just right, from the custom pads and making sure that all the details on the edges are right, that I could not be more grateful. It's such a reassurance to know that it's done right, that I just don't have to think about it. I will never have to think about it again. And that was them. So thank you very much to Adrenaline. The CNG stone, I think that might be one of the biggest surprises, because for countertops in the kitchen, countertops in the bathroom, my plan had been much more of a laminate kind of budget. And when they stepped up and said that they were going to donate this granite, and they showed up, and it wasn't just granite, it's beautiful granite. I mean, the stone in this it's beautiful. I think a geologist would love looking at this stone. And the polish on it, again, it's one of those things that you come in and it just pops out. It's just such a lovely addition to it, and it's really what makes it look like it's really a cut above. This isn't just an average kitchen that you're walking into. So I could not be more grateful and happy with how everything turned out. The bathroom as well. It just looks gorgeous, and it looks all tied together throughout the house. The next one, the people from Go-To Guys came, and after this is another surprise, they came and put new eaves troughs on the house. Eaves troughs and gutters and all of that kind of stuff, and that was not part of what I certainly didn't expect any of that to be happening. And they came in, they're fast, they're efficient, it looks fantastic. They kept a design sensibility. It's the outside of the house, and they made sure that everything is balanced so that the house actually looks way better than it did before, in the placement of the eaves and everything. So I'm really happy with the way the outside has turned out. It's really nice. Alchemy Renovations. I actually never saw Alchemy. I think the name is actually perfect because they're kind of like the wood magicians. One day I just showed up and all these baseboards are in and everything is trimmed beautifully. The windows are all done beautifully. and that was Alchemy. So I hope I get to meet you, but I'm certainly going to recommend you because the work that you did, especially my old house with the wavy gravy floors and everything now looks tidy and you can't actually tell that they're all wavy. You know what you're doing, and so I couldn't be happier with it. Bow Home Services came in and did a bunch of painting. They did the bathroom, they did a bunch in the hallway, and really moved it along fast. And the quality of the job is just perfect. The corners are perfect. They are. There's tricks to every trade, and you can tell that they knew exactly what they were doing when they did the job, and it just really has made the house shine that way. So thank you so much for them. Fresh Living. When Chantel came to the house and said that she was going to give me design services, I'd never worked with an interior designer before, and so it was such a treat just to have somebody to go shopping who's not just done one house. You know, we all have ideas about what we want, but being able to go with somebody who's done so many houses, and her eye, the way that she picked things out. Yeah, we were choosing lighting and selecting lighting that was actually going to work together and not just be too matchy, but still be interesting and original. So that's been a great plus, and I'm really happy with the recommendations that she's come with, and I think it's really pulling together the house nicely. You know, one of the bonuses that came out of this came kind of after the project. I thought that we were kind of at the tail end, and I'm going, oh my God, people have been so generous. And I get this call out of the blue from Made in the Shade. Heather Bueco says, oh, I wanted to actually pitch in some blinds and make sure that your house actually gets completely finished when it's done. And so she's like the icing on the cake. And so she brought her books over. We went over all of these different designs, how it's actually going to fit in with everything else. And so I still haven't seen the final product. It's still going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, but I've seen the samples, and they're beautiful, and they're exactly what I wanted. And so I'm pretty tickled. She sure knows what she's doing. So thank you. You know, another surprise is Hairstyle Inn. They've donated this gift certificate. And you can see I haven't quite got there yet because I'm waiting for the project to be done. And once we're all post the dust and everything else, then I want to go in. My daughter's asked if she can use some of it. She wants to get a couple of streaks in her hair too. I think one of the things with this whole project has been that, you know, it's been a renovation, but coming out of it, I was pretty demoralized, and it was hard to get a lot of it going. And we let so many things go. We weren't inviting people over. My sister came and said, you need to upgrade your wardrobe. Everything is starting to look tired. And now I'm finally feeling again like I want the rest of my life to match this beautiful house, because the rest of my life was matching the old in construction and nothing in great shape house. And so Hairstyle Inn, I'm going to be seeing you soon, and we're going to be putting the last touches on, which is me. You know, one of the things too that happened was that there was so much that was covered, but there were a few things that weren't. And so we had a few people who stepped up with donations. So Connexus Credit Union gave a donation of cash. Carrie Calder gave a donation of gift certificates to Canadian Tire. Sunview Windows, they gave a donation of cash. And when you're doing renovations, there's always things that need to be picked up. So smoke detectors, thank you very much. You're the ones who got those for my house so that we're all feeling safe. All the paint, all the painting supplies, whole bunch of extra things that just needed to be got to finish off all the pieces. And that's where the cash went. And so it was exactly what we needed. And, you know, for where I was, I'd already put a lot in, and those things would have had to wait, and I'm glad that they didn't have to, and I have you to thank for that. So thank you very much. One of the things too, there were suppliers that stepped in and gave a ton of the materials. And some of the people I met, some of the people I didn't, but Winrock gave insulation, they gave drywall, they gave shingles, all the materials so that these guys could put in the labor and be able to assemble them and make them into a house. And Rona, the same thing. Rona stepped forward. I have doors on my house and hinges on the doors and registers on the heat registers and all of those kinds of details that need to go in, and they're the ones who stepped up with that. So I couldn't be more grateful. There's the company out of Colorado that donated the heat mats that went into the roof. Those things have all gone to make the project what it is right now, which is beautiful and safe and a home that I can come into and just sit down and say how lucky I am to live in this beautiful house. It's pretty amazing. Jaba Construction. Jaba, the amount of time that these guys put in it was over the top. Their crews came in and did work. Dave Anderchuk, I can tell you, Dave, he was my champion when I couldn't be my own champion. He came with me to meetings with the insurance company. He called people, he made things happen, and he took it on when I couldn't do it for myself. And I will be eternally grateful. And he kept reminding me, oh, you owe me a beer, So I tell you, get this man a beer. If you ever see him, I'll pay you back if he's ever without one, because I owe him and his company. Nicole, Tio, these people that he had who were coming in and unfailingly helpful, unfailingly focused on good results and getting the job done and moving it forward. And these guys, what they've put in has been amazing. The quality of the work, they're the ones who pulled it all together, and there's just no way around that. They are excellent, and I would not hesitate to and haven't been hesitating to recommend them to anybody and saying, just call Jaba. Like, honestly, they're the ones who are going to really get this done for you, and will continue to do so. The last one, and I guess the heart of this, is Trusted Saskatoon and Sarah Wheelwright. And when she showed up at my house, I was a low point. I had kind of tried everything. I'd already put so much into the house and had been through so much, and I wasn't going to be able to fix it. And I'd kind of resigned myself only that week, really, that I was probably going to just have to sell the house, go back to renting for me and my daughter. It was going to be a setback, but that's what we were going to have to do. Take a big loss on the house because it was in no shape to be selling at a premium. And she showed up at my door, and at first it was funny because, this beautiful woman shows up at my door and says, "Hi, I'm here and I want to talk to you. I want to help you renovate your house." And I'm thinking she's trying to sell something to me. And I thought, yeah, there's no way that's going to happen. Thanks anyway. And she's saying, no, I'm here, and all of these companies want to donate services to you and help you. And I couldn't quite believe it. It took weeks for me to really believe that this had happened. I'd been pretty burned, and it's true. And she's amazing, and she is that good, and she's that generous, and she's that focused on making sure things happen and turn out right for all of these people. I found out since I am in no way the only one that she has helped out in different charities that she supports and agencies that she works with. And this is a remarkable woman, and she has created a remarkable company. The team of companies that she has working together are a cut above. They have a set of values that are what you're looking for when you're trying to hire somebody to do work for you. They share a commitment to quality. They share a commitment to customer service standards that is consistently high. And I haven't worked with all of them, but I can tell you that I have no hesitation. Any one of them that I would hire, I just know that if they're on that list, they're going to be sharing those same standards. And what a remarkable thing she's done. And I could not be more grateful.